Well, I just had an interesting back and forth comment conversation with a gentleman in a foreign country. It turns out, I didn't know that, but I mean, it really doesn't matter. And the conversation was over my quiet generator box right there. And that generator runs my entire house except for my 20 kilowatt heat strip, which is fine. That is an extremely energy efficient house, and it takes very little to heat it. As a matter of fact, our heating costs in the winter are, very low. Our air conditioning costs are high, and this generator will run my air conditioner as well as my water heater. And I've even cooked while all that stuff was going, so it'll run my stove too. And that generator cost me roughly $800. And by the time I bought the box and the fan and the wire and a couple of breakers, I'm into that whole house generator at around $1,500. And somebody was telling me that I would have been better off going solar. This isn't a comment on that video where I made the quiet generator box. And my reply to him was, it would cost $20,000 to have enough solar, plus batteries, plus a charge controller to run my entire house. This runs my entire house for $1,500. And on top of that, it runs my entire house day or night, cloudy or sunny, rainy or not. And you can't say that about solar. Solar charges batteries, and when you wear your batteries down, say at night, or you run your AC overnight and the next day it's cloudy, you got no electricity, and you spent 20 grand on a system big enough to power your entire house. In my opinion, whole house solar systems are a complete and total waste of an enormous amount of money. Well, his argument was, well, what about gasoline and maintenance costs? And I said, it would take me 30 years to run enough gasoline through that generator to pay for a $20,000 whole house solar system that only works when it's sunny. I just don't get the argument, but clearly this is somebody who was on the side of solar, and he was losing the argument, so he started quoting ridiculous numbers that I could run my house on 4,000 watts of solar. And I said, that wouldn't even start my air conditioner. It wouldn't turn on my water heater. It's barely enough to run the lights in my house. 4,000 watts of solar, and only if you have enough batteries to store that 4,000 watts. Anyway, he gave up. He lost the argument. And then my last comment to him was, why on earth, and this should have been my first comment, why on earth would you watch a video about a quiet generator shed when you are clearly a proponent of solar? Why did you just waste your time and my time, and you are obviously in favor of solar? Why would you watch a video about making a generator quiet when you have no interest whatsoever in getting a generator and making it quiet? And I know, and I encounter these people who have a product to sell, and they're hoping that this little argument will make you go to I haven't gone to his channel, and I'm not going to. But these people sell solar. It'd be like me being a knife maker and somebody who sells axes coming to my channel telling me that, I think you're making a mistake there, making knives, because axes could do anything you ever want to do. I mean, it's the same MO, basically. And I have had this in the past, people trying to convince me. Actually, they're not trying to convince me. They want other people to come along and see the comments and perhaps be swayed by their argument and go buy solar. But just Doesn't make me mad. It just wasted 10 minutes of my time. All right, here I am. This is Imasurvivornthriver's. I just got it all cleaned up from the heat treating. That is satin finish. I mean, that's a real satin finish. And normally my satin finishes, I run it across my buffer just because it makes them look so beautimous. But she told me, oh, sorry, one more. Oh, Lordy, I had to move my chair. Oh, God. She is a real camper, you know. I mean, she's going to be out in the woods camping. She goes camping with her family and bushcrafting and boondocking, and, you know, she's an outdoors kind of person. So this is definitely going to see some use. So I'm not even going to waste a buffer on it, because it will look like this before you know it after I buff it. So I'm going to put this kind of finish on it, which is satin. And when it gets all, you know, scratched and all that, it's very simple to put this kind of a finish back on it. You can do it yourself. It's just 600 grit sandpaper, and you drag it, and you drag. I mean, it might take, you know, half an hour, but you can put this kind of finish back on it in no time at all with 600 grit sandpaper. And that's what that finish is. That's a 600 grit finish right there. Okay, now she wants desert ironwood. I'm fixing to put these in my drill press and drill these holes. And here in about an hour and a half, I will have these epoxied onto this. And tomorrow we will shape a handle. Tomorrow's Wednesday. And I'm hoping Thursday I'll be able to make the sheath. So, after I do this, I'm taking the rest of the day off. My wife and I helped. I told you that my old friend Dwayne passed away, and my wife and I have been going over there trying to help her get her yard in a condition that she will be able to take care of it by herself. You know, just jump on a mower and take care of it without a whole bunch of weed whacking and, you know, tree cutting and trimming and all that. So, and, you know, there's an end to that. I think another day or two, and we'll have her yard where she can jump on her lawnmower and take care of it. And anyway, that's next. Handle's next. Let me get that on the drill press and drill in holes. Okay, they were cut to roughly the shape of the handle, and I sand the nose of these handles, grips, scales to 30 degrees. And then I put them in my vise and I sand them up to 600, and then I buff them. And the reason I do all this is because I can't buff the nose of these after they've been epoxied onto the knife. I mean, I could buff them, but I can't sand them because it will screw the knife up, the finish. So let me get this in here and I'll start the sanding. This is 180, 320, and 2 600s. You can skip a few grits on the wood, especially since I'm going to be on the buffer on the front of these. I don't skip grits when I'm doing the sides, just because you can't sand out all the scratches by skipping grits. Yeah, I've had a rash of well, I have a new stalker. Let me just put it that way. And I know it's a stalker because he started a channel the day he left a comment, and I didn't answer him. It was an ugly comment. But how stupid I am, and I'm not a good knife maker or a good truck driver. On and on and on. So I just removed the comment because those people really, really, really want you to engage them and have some drama with them. And the amount of drama that I'm willing to have with those types now is just to delete their comment, go to their channel, and block them. So almost instantly, they come back with another channel. I'm talking, they already had a channel started because they were back within a minute or two, leaving roughly the same comment. How stupid I am, my knives suck, I'm a lousy truck driver, and on and on and on. And the same thing, click, gone. And I've had a rash of them lately. I don't know what, maybe it's, it's the world, the economy, I don't know. But I have learned through trial and error that the only way you can beat those people is to not engage them. When you delete their comment and you block their channel, you have won. And it infuriates them that you won't call them names back. And they resort to some other means. They might report your channel as being offensive or making weapons. It never ends. It never ends. It's every day. And yesterday I was completely out of cell signal, so I couldn't answer comments or read comments or nothing. Not even one bar. And most of the day. So when I'm out of a cell signal and out of computer, away from my computer, then those comments do get to stay up a little longer, but they all come to my email. So, by the end of the day, I'm removing them. All right, this is 320. Boy, did I buy some really pretty desert ironwood. I think one of them I can get a BC Special out of, but the other two are too small for the BC Special, but I could get a dinner skinner out of them. I thought I heard a rooster. All right, 600. And I like this part of the knife making, the handle sanding rather, is because this is going to tell you what the rest of the wood is going to look like when you get it polished, sanded and polished. Tomorrow I'm going to do some solar cooking. I'm going to cook a little bitty roast. And I haven't decided what oven I'm going to use. I've got the all-season solar cooker, the Haynes 2.0, and my All-American Sun oven, which is my favorite, but it's not the most convenient. The most convenient is the two portable ones, very portable. I mean, the All-American is portable, but it's much, much heavier. One more 600. Yeah, I have been tickled pink with that generator. I'm so glad I did what I did. And you can barely hear it. I'll tell you, Bev has a commercial made natural gas, not natural gas, propane? Yeah, natural gas generator. And I can hear hers in my house over mine. So that's how good my little quiet box works. All right, now we go buff. Okay, noise alert. Actually, I think my phone quiets it down after it first starts up. We'll see. That is going to give you an idea. Let me, once this thing stops, I don't know if you can hear it or not. Okay. That is going to give you an idea what the rest of the knife will look like. Now, behind you, there's another buffer, and you're actually mounted to that buffer. So, and it is just a very fine buffer. I use something called scratchless on that. So I'm gonna hit that real quick and go epoxy this onto the handles. Just a little shot before we epoxy. Come on, get back in there. All right. That's gonna be a pretty knife. All right, I'm gonna pet my little dog, drink my little drink, and get to epoxynating. All right, I am at the epoxy point, and I'm just going to show you the process. I don't believe I've ever showed this whole process before. And I would just Ayn Rand. There is a quote by Ayn Rand. You know what? Give me 2 seconds. It's going to be noisy. Give me just a second. I had to sand the back of these just to get myself some fresh wood there. Ayn Rand, and what was the name of her book? John Galt? Where is John Galt? What was the name of Anne? It's not Anne, it's Ayn, A-Y-N. Ayn Rand wrote a book, and I read this stinking book, but I can't for the life of me remember the name of the book. Yeah, terrible memory. Anyway, there is a quote, I don't know if it was in the book or not, that a creative man, good Lord, I can't even repeat it verbatim, I have it on my phone. Basically, it's that a creative man does not desire fame and fortune. He desires the opportunity to create. I completely understand that. And that's exactly how I feel. I'm not in competition with anyone. I don't want to be better than anyone. You know what I want to be better than? Yesterday. The knives I made yesterday, I want to do better today. And that's pretty simple how I feel. Okay. This is West System epoxy. And West System, I had no idea until just recently. But West Systems makes the epoxy resin that they manufacture cold molded boats with. And that, you know, I've been a fan of this West System epoxy for a long time, and knowing that ocean-going vessels rely on that, you know, I might not have put enough in there. Let me, you know, I didn't. I'd rather have too much than not enough, and it's expensive, but the alternative is to run out and then need to mix more up while you're in the middle of putting stuff together. So I'm going to give that a second to settle. All right. I know right where I'm at. I got to turn this around and bring that level up to the next mark. There we go. Anyway, that was pretty interesting to find out that West Systems is not just epoxy for knife handles. They build ships with this stuff. And I think I mentioned before that I really like watching videos, tours of ships, yachts, basically. And right now I'm kind of going through my sailboat phase, just really enjoying watching people sail their boats and tours of boats that are for sale. I would never do it since the ocean has no pull for me. But there's this particular yacht manufacturer named Beecham, and they're made in Turkey. And that's where I first learned about the West System, because I watched a video of how they build those ships and the epoxy they use during the cold molding process is West Systems. And then upon a little bit more looking into it, there's lots of boat manufacturers, even people that make their ships out of fiberglass still have to use some types of epoxy. And they use West Systems. So it's a very, I did not know that before. You know, it's the choice of knife makers, and there's good reason. Okay, here's one half. Yeah, I slather this stuff on because I would rather have way too much than not enough. Now, you do have to clean it up after it squeezes out, but that's all right. Trying not to get it on my fingers because I got to handle this knife. Let me make sure I don't. Crap. All right, get another one. All right, now what I do is make sure that the pins are out equally. They don't have to be equally, they just have to stick out on each side. One more down here. I probably got you zoomed in too far. Now, I wipe this epoxy off the nose of it. This is acetone, by the way, in case you're wondering. And I'm just getting my fingerprints off the blade. Now I'm gonna clean this epoxy off really good. All right. Oh, geez, two final things. And I'll put one more up here. There we go. Okay. All right, that's it for now. Now, yep, we're good. Okay, I will be back tomorrow to turn this into a handle. So let me tell you the last comment. I knew he couldn't go away. I didn't block him because he hasn't been ugly or said horrible things, but he did come back and tell me what an educated moron he is. He came back and left a comment telling me how smart he is in electricity because he has a degree from Tempe University. And I almost left a comment, but it would have been mean, so I didn't. I was going to say, oh my God, why didn't you tell me you had a degree from Tempe University? You know, that's right up there with Harvard and what's that other one where all the rich kids go? Anyway, yeah, came back and told me how smart he was. And I'm thinking, you're not very smart if you think that $20,000 worth of solar panels. Oh, that was another one of his arguments. He said, you don't have the maintenance of, you don't have the hassle of maintenance and gasoline. I said, how freaking hard is it to pour a gallon of gasoline out of a can? And who can't every few months pull a plug and drain oil? I mean, what kind of... For some reason, this guy was desperately trying to justify somebody spending $20,000 to possibly power their house over $1,500 in absolutely powering your house. Bizarre. People are bizarre. Anyway, I didn't answer him. I let him have the last word. See you tomorrow. This dog spent the first half of her life in the truck. That's all she knew. And boy, when we get in the pickup truck and drive, she goes right to sleep.
Just like a kid.
Just like a kid, yeah. Wow.